Okay. Back in action. Back to Kerbal Space Program. Sure everything checks out here. Audio levels look good. I'm going to get rusty here if I pull too many more sick days. Okay, so let's even see where we left off. I was kind of borderline delusionally sick last time around, although I was doing something pretty good. And that was designing a base for Minmus. So we do need a lot of work here. And part of this is going to be the weight that's going to be holding us back. Namely that core section. I do want to launch this fueled, I've decided. So I'm going to have to work and get us some extra larger tanks and create larger launch vehicles before we get to the point where we are deploying this. We're going to have some real fun with that. And by that I mean it's going to be a pain in the butt. So what do we do today? Well, I do need to get our mining vehicle back from Minmus and complete a contract there. I do briefly want to make some corrections I did here. You know what? No. Maybe not. I was going to say the Decanus, I really don't need this separator, I don't think. Which would make this a little bit cheaper on the economy model, in the economy version. Because I did not realize that this does, in fact, stage properly as a decoupler. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Let's just save it real quick. Just want to make sure I'm updating all the notes on it, because it'll cost us $53.71 per launch, and that of course is our 3-ton launcher. So $17.90. It's a little bit better. It did just bug me the other day that I realized that I've been wasting a perfectly good decoupler section on a vehicle that didn't need it, and it's actually comes out to a pretty big savings when you're talking about per ton. That's much better, actually. So yeah, that was bugging me. I don't think I made that mistake anywhere else. Like the Soshi is about as cheap as I can get a launcher, period. The larger version of the Decanus, the non-economy version, does need the decoupler. So that's for different types of payloads. The Optio doesn't use that. Decanus 1 Heavy, of course, doesn't use that because it needs a larger engine. Centurion does not use that because it's got a single upper engine. The Decurion also doesn't use that. So yeah, that was our only vehicle that was using that. So that's a plus. I do eventually want to test this as well, which we will need a larger launch pad for. This might actually be what we want for our station, except for the diameter here doesn't really work for us. Need kind of a wider diameter and a stronger upper stage, I think. As cool as that looks. I don't know if that's going to actually be that practical. So let's check in on our Minmus lander here, our Minmus mining operation for our singular contract. And that's going to be, where is it? Boom, boom. There we go, this guy. So this is incomplete. I'll have to check that. I don't know if it's just not populating or what the deal is. Also got a large lander on the way, if I'm not mistaken. Might do some time warp to make sure we see that lander through. Still got another vehicle on escape trajectory, that's good. Where is our big old lander here? There it is. Yeah, it's still got a while to go. Let's focus in on Minmus. That would be this guy, I believe. And this was my lander that I forgot to put radiators on. Probably not the wisest decision. Nor do I have any kind of ports to get it back to orbit and add anything to this. So it's kind of a bummer. It's, it's mined like practically nothing. Whoop! That's not what I wanted to do at all. Why were those engines still active? Okay. That's cool. We're okay. We're okay. Just fall back gently. There we go. Okay, we're fine. Just did a little hop. No big deal. Landed on the reserve engines. Also not a big deal. So the problem is this is going to overheat like immediately. And I was hoping what I could do is activate these. And then kind of leave them alone. And it really does kill me that I just didn't put any radiators on this. This would be running pretty well. There I go, hitting the shift key again. This would be running pretty well if I had just put some radiators on. The thermal efficiency just dropped. That really stinks. I'll have to figure out something. This thing is an absurdly expensive waste at this point. I've got an idea. It's not a great idea. But let's just see. What I need is going to be a rover. A kind of drone rover. Alright. Really basic. Extra battery pack at the back. Single solar panel, basically just for style. Some kind of structural adapter for the front. That we can kind of put through, make it look semi-decent here. Actually, that gives me another option as far as here, because that kind of works out. So I want to move this up enough that it's totally clear on this small diameter. And that lets me put some fun stuff in there. Put an Oscar B tank. Oh, no, we can't because there's stuff in the way. I see. That's unfortunate. Let's put that there. And then rotate it. Let's see how that looks. Bestie! Yes, it has been forever. Not only that, it's been a couple days since I was able to stream at all. And sick, unfortunately. Sick and busy. Bad combination. So the mission today, I'm gonna try and get a rover, I think, off to Minmus to, of all things, add radiators to a lander that does not have them. I sent a single-use lander out to collect ore and return it to Kerbin, and I forgot radiators on there, on a something like a 40-ton vehicle. I just forgot to put the radiators on. I am feeling better. Thank you, Bestie. So let's see. Because I don't have any docking ports on there, I'm going to have to grab it. Oop, whoa. Grab it with the claw. This is going to be an incredibly awkward vehicle. Why is that not? That's weird. I would have thought that would, let me put that on both sides. Oh, maybe because it's not toggle snap? No, that's not it. Huh. Alright, well I give up on that. Then we're just gonna put it like this. So I need the wheelbase to be very low. Because this thing is quite high off the ground. Small hard point, that might help. Okay, not really, because it's not going to grab onto anything. This is a very strange vehicle. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be one of mine if it wasn't. You know how you can put a jet turbine upside down on the rover and it actually moves the center of mass under the surface? I have seen that. It is actually really cool. You're right, it is super broken. Makes me laugh at stuff like that. Not that I wasn't tempted to do something along those lines, mind you. This is starting to look like something out of Star Trek. Not so much a useful rover. Okay. Now I still need a way to land this thing. Which is actually fairly light. So I guess I don't need to worry a whole lot. Let's move these solar panels out. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. You never flip. That actually is the bane of rovers in this game. That's how I lost the first Minmus rover. Well, I didn't lose it, I just severely damaged it. That was a very poor argument. I didn't really lose it, it's just severely damaged. Isn't that the same as nope, not the same as losing it, I promise. And the cats are being terrorists. Okay. Nope, not what I wanted to do. But big old fuel tank, a big ugly fuel tank there. How's the center of mass doing? Let's see where that is. Actually, not bad. Not too bad. Okay, yeah, we're getting somewhere here. Just want this to actually be launchable. As long as that happens, I think I'll be fine. Put a couple batteries up there just to move the weight up. And another FLA adapter might help. Just make this look a little more normal-ish. Let's put the connector there, so let's put the solar panels here. Okay, we're gonna need 2 more wheels. Okay, that's not the same height. Take the object snap off again. There we are. That actually is looking pretty good. I gotta figure out how to slide the weight just a little more. So I'm gonna move this battery actually down. Hopefully that's fairly centered. And then I'm gonna just add a little more fuel at the top. I didn't quite do enough. I don't know if this is going to be offset too much. I guess what I could do is just offset the decoupler. Boom, and there we go. That would be a little ugly looking, but it would work, or it should work. we now have a about 5-ton rover that we could send to Minmus. Now I do need to add some kind of thruster to make it so this thing can actually land itself. So without this on there, center of mass was pretty dead on. So I will put a couple twitch engines in between each set of wheels. That should do. And we'll see if this crazy contraption can rescue my mining mission. So that already has the transfer fuel built in. That's pretty good. Let's open it up in the vehicle assembly building. And remember to put an antenna on it before I launch it, because that's kind of important. Alright, and I gotta figure out what launcher I'm gonna use. It's probably gonna be an Optio. So let's see. Rescue rover. And like I said, need to remember to put an antenna on this. Let's go ahead and do that now. The wide wheelbase is going to make this kind of awkward. Wish there was a way to have like deployable wheels. Now maybe, as I said that, check the lunar rover wheels, because they are retractable. Just like the real rover wheels, they are retractable. How much do they retract by, though? That's not horrible. That doesn't really seem to save me a ton. I guess it does save me a little bit in the terms of the fairing. Okay. That should do. Could help us out a little bit. Now this is probably still going to need a 2.5 meter fairing. Although actually from there it's not that bad. Turns it into 5.5 tons. So that would put this in the range of an Optio 1, which of course has a smaller diameter. The Centurion would be a 10-ton launcher. This would be the right diameter, but would be excessive for what we're trying to do here. I might just try and build the transfer stage into the second stage then. And make this, make kind of a stretched Centurion here and make that worth it, hopefully. So Separatrons. Okay. I think what I might do to change this, actually, just to make this a little easier on myself, and since we already are putting more fuel on, throw one of these adapters on, throw one of these guys on there, bingo. That should do. It'll be a little more energetic than most of Centurion launches, but that's fine. So we've got 2 Bobcat engines and 2 towers at the bottom. Okay, that's the actual rover engine, so those are going to be near the end. And these are the separators. So those are going to go when the top separator goes, yeah. Okay. So this would be... What are these? Oh. Disable staging on those. I want to keep those, thank you. Kind of weird. Getting some little Kerbal glitches here. I don't like when it does that. Thank you. Okay. So there's staging and the second stage engine. Okay, cool. So fairing would be after. Okay. I think we're ready. And the whole point is just going to be to land right next to that little mining vehicle, deploy the radiators, and try to cool it down long enough for it to do its thing. And some part of me says this is probably a really bad idea, and that it's not going to do us any good. And that part of me is probably right, but we're going to do it anyway. I really like this twin Bobcat abomination for the new Centurions. Does save us a lot of funds. Fine, a little crooked. It's odd. So I'm going to go straight vertical until I get to about 10,000 meters. I'm going to start a prograde turn from there. The stage should just get us to the point where we'll be touching the edge of space, and then the second stage will do all the rest of the work. I've got a Poodle engine in there, as opposed to the Cheetah. It's on the smaller Optio. This is basically two Optios glued together, which makes me laugh. It's double the fuel, double the engines, all across the board. Now, and I still got to get these temperature scans with our polar station. At some point, we'll get that going. It's out of position at the moment. Could send a small satellite to do those. I might actually do that. I might send a small satellite to get those after this. That way I can waste fuel on inclination changes and not feel guilty. First stage is about to cut off. Perfect. Alright. Yep, as I expected, just slightly more energetic than we're used to for First Centurion. I'm going to drop the fairing here as well. Let's deploy the solar panels. Now that we're high enough out of the atmosphere. Oh, wow. Okay, yep. We are way driving the apogee more than we need to. It's a lot more energetic than I thought it was going to be. A 25-second burn. Quite a lot of time warp actually on this. Not at all what I was expecting. So about 13 seconds away. I'll start our burn. There's orbit. As Stewie would say, orbit. Alright. And we are lined up there. And we still have a lot of fuel to try and do the transfer. Oh, that's just teasing. We're right at the descending node, too. I could do that inclination change now if I had just expected it. I'm going to actually do this first, even though this is the less fuel-efficient way to do this. We have plenty of fuel, so I'm not overly worried about that. We should have an excess of fuel to complete the MIMS transfer. So I'm going to do this just to make it a little easier to pick the actual starting point. I demonstrated that actually on the last launch, the one that's still on the way, the new upgraded lander on the way to Minmus. Where on that one I did not do the inclination change. Saved myself about 300 meters per second of delta V, and then for only, I think, 2 meters per second at Delta V. Did a mid-course correction to still have a rendezvous. But this time around, I'm going to be lazy. Okay, a little bit of inclination correction there. Okay. Beautiful. We're on the right inclination. We're in a very high orbit. Let's figure out where we're gonna have to aim to get to min-miss here. Ah, got it dead on. Okay. That was easy. Let's lower that a little bit. I want to end up in front of it a little bit. I like that trick. Gives us a lower perigee if we get in front of it. Or it could just do some weirdness. See, we're gonna end up... We're gonna end up in front of it. It's not doing what I expected it to do, though. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to take that and roll with it. I don't know why I'm not getting the usual that I try to go for. Usually what I try to do is get out in front of the moon or min-miss and have the gravity, when it captures, slow down the transfer stage. So when it returns to Kerbin, it is at a slower speed and therefore smashes into Kerbin. Leaves no space debris. So we're going to have a 30-second burn. So 15 seconds away from the maneuver is where I need to start the burn. But with all the extra fuel on this, I'm not actually that worried, I guess. This should actually allow us to do most of the capture burn, if not all of it, with this stage as well. So that's not bad. Okay, with that on the way, I guess what I'm gonna do... I'm gonna launch another 1-ton satellite to go and do our temperature scans. And this is going to be just showcasing how cheap we can go. Dude, I called you bro. That rhymed. I'm disturbed. I'm just a little concerned at how much that rhymed. I still have yet to land a rover using a sky crane. As do I. I've basically just been building the actual thrusters into the rover. Would be a very cool thing to do, though. I really would like to see that. Okay, so what I need now, I need the 1-ton probe bus. So this little guy is a whopping total of 1 ton, I think, with payload. Yep. So 0.998 tons. We're going to throw a thermostat on there just to make that usable for the contract. There we go. 1.003 tons. Almost too easy there. That's something I never actually tried to do, landing on the second, or whichever stage, and then tipping it. I've never actually really done that. I just kind of build the thrusters into the rover and don't bother to have any kind of separation. Cats are terrorists, everyone. Mosine, what are you doing? Alright, so our cheapest launcher, the Sochi, it is a 1-ton launcher. This is what we're going to use to get this into orbit. You do not get much cheaper than this. The rocket itself is 2,914 funds. Okay, this should do. Thank you, Bestie. Yeah, this was me being incredibly cheap. I spent probably way too many episodes just redesigning rockets to get to this point. And boring the absolute crap out of any potential audience. However, the benefits outweigh the costs. So let's see. We get, I think, 66 seconds of booster and also the twitch engines. So I get this up to 10,000 meters and start a prograde turn. So cost of this total deal was about 9,000 funds with the satellite and the thermometer. So less than 10,000 funds, not bad, if it all goes well. Did start to lose a little bit of control there. Don't know what that was all about. But we recovered and we're back to our prograde turn. No issue there. Second stage is a nice light twitch engine. Not looking too bad. I'm a little disturbed by that thing wobbling the way it did. That's the first time it's done that. This little twitch engine's doing pretty good. We got a long burn time on this. Still looking good. Still driving out apogee in front of us, so it is getting further away, not closer. At a safe enough altitude, I'm going to drop the fairing. I wonder if I didn't center this properly, and that's why it's was doing its little bit of tipping. I'll have to investigate that later. Alright, we're just getting to the point we start tracking prograde. Start pitching down, actually, now at this point. I think that wobbling might have left us just a little short of orbit, but we've got a very good satellite bus anyway, so I'm not terribly worried. Yep, it did. Well, that's a downer. Alright, that goes and does its thing. Now orbit should be nice and easy anyway. I think that thermometer must be just slightly off center. Visually, you wouldn't think so. At least I wouldn't think so. But something made it wobble there. And I'm really not sure what it was. There we go. Just a little bit more. There we go. Nice safe orbit. Now I gotta figure out what inclination we need to get onto to get these temperature scans. Let's warp this most of the way around. Nice thing is they're all above a certain distance, so it makes it a lot easier because I can get them from orbit. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's do a high inclination. Apparently don't need it that much. Yeah, let's start with the bottom one and work our way up. Should be the most efficient way. I'm gonna go just a little high because I anticipate it kind of rotating under it. So it'll be when we're back descending again. Now, I do have smaller probe cores that actually would have better control as well, which I've thought about putting on this, but they're so expensive compared to this. Really, prograde, retrograde is the ones you really need. So 8 seconds out from the maneuver, hit full thrust. I don't know if I need to do that correction or not. I think I'm good. Yeah, I should be fine. Excellent. So, yep, the rotation of Kerbin is bringing that back to the right inclination. That is perfect. Almost literally perfect. That is dead on. So we should be heading over that zone very shortly. We're maintaining direct contact with the ground too, which is kind of cool. So it should be a pretty quick radio down. Should say we're entering that zone very shortly. Yep, here we are. We're in the zone. So log it, relay it. Perfect. All right, first one down. Let's warp again. We'll set up another inclination burn. Now bouncing radio communications through our relay network. We're almost to the point we can get some readings from Station 2. Let's see. Let's set up an inclination maneuver once more for the satellite. Right about there. A little higher. Another 10-second burn. So a little time warp, about 5 seconds away from the actual maneuver node, so we'll hit full throttle. Bingo. Let's kill that maneuver node and just roll with it. So we should see that rotate into the ideal position, which it is seemingly doing exactly that. We might want just a little more inclination, actually. Yes, we do. So we're just going to do a rapid maneuver here. Pretty steep inclination there. And just want to make sure I leave myself enough fuel I can deorbit this later, and that's the only thing I really care about. Think I can probably get all these temperature scans. If not, narrowing it down to 1 or 2 will be great for the station to go and clean up. Unfortunately, I was expecting to have much more fuel on this thing. The Sochi rocket kind of let me down there. Although I could make an ion-powered version of this as well. So I might want to look into that. Should be right in that zone. Nope, we're a little off. Yeah, too late. We missed it. Alright. Let's get to right about here. I'll try for another pass. Underestimated the rotation of the planet that time. Okay, another 7-second burn. This will be probably the last burn I could pull off with this satellite. I'll have to use the rest to deorbit it. But I can at least leave it up there until I get a good opportunity to actually grab these temperature scans. Once again, we're falling a little bit short. Unfortunately, underestimating the rotation of the planet. That should do us. Left myself no fuel to deorbit this thing. But we'll get one more temperature scan out of it. And then I think this thing is unfortunately going to need to be deorbited by something. Oh, that one kind of let me down. See if I can, as close to this maneuver node, as close to apogee as possible, start heading retrograde. See how much I can deorbit this sucker. Apogee will be the place we want to do it. That actually kind of worked. Okay. Fair enough. I'll send up a follow-up satellite to go take care of the other two. Really, that should have been able to do it. And it is kind of bugging me. Okay, so now we are heading into the atmosphere. I'm going to turn us for maximum aerodynamic resistance. Side on. And slow us down as much as possible. This is going to take us probably a couple orbits to slow down enough to lower our apogee into the atmosphere and burn us up. It's actually doing a pretty good job of deorbiting, though. It's probably one more pass. So just to see if I can get one more orbit out of this thing, I'm going to aim at prograde and bring down our aerodynamic resistance and slow the rate of apogee decay. I don't think it's going to do very much good, though. You can see our decay rate is going down significantly. I'm probably going to just let that burn up so I don't have to watch it go all the way down into the atmosphere. See if it stays on rails or if it decays, because we know for sure it should decay this time around. I need to take a look at the Sochi and see what the heck happened there. Also, I do want to try and make a ion-powered version of that probe. It might be worth looking into. No new contracts to try and pull off. Let's see. Okay, so for some reason this gave us some wobble. Center mass does look slightly off. Oh, found the problem. I painted it wrong. There you go. Oh, this is like weightless. This doesn't matter. So it's not that I put this in the wrong place. At least I don't think it is. So what the heck happened? I've used this multiple times. Strange. Alright, well now what I want to see. Yeah, let's reroute all this to the actual core. I want to see what happens if I do this as a ion-powered probe. So I would need xenon. Plus a little xenon engine bit. And then I need better solar panels. I would need deployables. And I would need to move these. Sort of like that would probably be fine, yep. That would actually be even lighter. That's surprising. So this would be lighter. How much electricity is this going to eat? .74 seconds at max. And these would be generating 1.6 each. So I need more than 4. I need 6 of these. Oop. Which is ideal for a 6-sided core, I guess. Let's put those down to 0 toggle snap. There we go. Alright, so much more expensive. But it is much lighter. So it gives me a little less than 1 ton for the actual launcher. I'm going to try this out. Same basic launcher, different probe. Let's make it about twice as expensive. More than twice as expensive. But we'll pay the money for the experiment. $24,000 credits this time instead of the 8 or 9,000 credits we had last time. It's 8.5, I think. This is going to be for the same application of low orbit contract stuff. It is. At least for the moment. There may be some other applications that I can possibly put this towards. So I think what I might do, I might try to launch this into a polar inclination. And see if I can divert a little easier that way. Yeah, I think I might do that. So this is probably going to run a little short, same as last time. But this time it's going to be because we're going into a polar inclination. And God, this is loud on my screen. I hope it's not this loud on the stream. Alright, so those little twitch engines did their damnedest to keep us steering in the right direction, but off they go. Not looking too bad for an apogee. Start tracking prograde. Alright, orbital prograde is not the same as surface, apparently. At a safe enough altitude, we'll drop the fairing. Oh yeah, we can way level out now. Yeah, this one's going much better. Working on orbital velocity. We're in space, so I'll go and deploy solar panels. No longer need to worry about atmospheric drag. That's where we want to pitch up a little bit. Still almost up to orbital velocity. There we go. Not bad, and actually pretty high orbit, even with the polar inclination. Really not bad at all. But now we've got... Really? We've got almost 10,000 delta V in the stage. Alright. So we'll aim prograde. We'll actually deorbit that second stage. It's got a spin stabilization to there, a little bit of rotation in the two engines, so it does fly in a straight line reliably. And there we go. Let's see how much inclination change we need to do once we're at the South Pole. Yeah, we're gonna need to do at least some. I think that should probably do it. That might be excessive, we'll see. Also need to see how long this burn's gonna be, because with yeah, with ion engines, 1 minute 28 seconds is a modest burn. Yeah, I think that should probably be about what I want right there. So when we're, let's see, we got a 1 minute 38 second burn. So that's 49 seconds away from the maneuver notice where we want to start our burn. So once we get 49 seconds away, we're going to hit full throttle on this ion thruster. Fun experiment, but I don't think this is going to become the norm. A lot of money, and it is annoying to do these long burns. Some longer range applications, though, may be warranted. And we're absolutely killing our electric charge. Unfortunately, aiming side on to the sun is preventing us from doing a proper burn. We're going to be playing a little ballet dance between aiming at the sun and aiming at the actual maneuver. Yeah, the rest of this is just going to be manual, I think. Let me see. To me, the iron engines are only good at very distant probe missions. I think I agree with you. I was hoping there might be some benefits in orbit if we're just doing minor adjustments like this. But the annoyance factor is just overwhelming. Yeah, like a jewel mun hopping mission, that for sure. Or anything really for me, like around Minmus probably would be very useful. Since Minmus has such wonderfully difficult maneuvering because of how little thrust is needed. And of course that is the one thing that we have severely lacking on this vehicle right now is thrust. But we might be getting the job done anyway. I guess I'll stop complaining and find out. Yeah, we're gonna need to do just a little more. I like the animation for this, though. I think that's a lot different than it used to be. I could be wrong. Let's warp in a little closer. What I could have done, maybe I missed an opportunity there. Do some weirdness. I don't think I'll have the thrust to do what I think I'm gonna be doing here. I'm not. Okay, whatever. I give up on that idea. I was gonna say I could have gone for this one and then quickly did an angle in the inclination to make up for that. But that's not going to be doable. So I'm just going to make sure we're driving this out in front of this maneuver, which is doable still at this point. There we go. That should take us right overhead. Yep. Entering sector, whatever that is. All right. So we want to aim the other way now. And slightly better recharge rate at this point too, which is good, so we have a longer burn. Almost there. Almost, I mean, to energy run out, not for the actual maneuver. But, okay, whatever. Recharge. Time warp around the back of the planet, because there's no point in even doing adjustments while we're not seeing the sun. At least with this vehicle. Nope, don't want to do that. Thank you. There we go. Get rid of that. Right here. Do that at a 90-degree angle to our target. So it'll be right there. That's better. Okay, that's what we want to try and do. We are not going to be able to pull that off, but that's what we're going to try for. Three times more expensive for a 10 times longer mission. Absolutely, that is exactly what just happened. Definitely not our new fallback. If the sun was in a better position, this wouldn't be as bad. But that's a terrible argument. Watching it kill our electric charge. Find a better recharge rate would be ideal. If I just built these along the length of this, would have been a lot better. Alright, back to the maneuver. Oops. A little bad maneuvering there. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this maneuver node. It's just confusing me. Because we have to stretch out this burn so long, it's kind of hard to use that. That's the point we gotta turn and recharge again. I could just throttle down and find where the equilibrium is. Pardon me. There we go. Equilibrium. Can't accelerate while ship is under acceleration. Can't time accelerate. Okay. Can read the newspaper while we're waiting for this burn to finish. Full throttle again. God, this is painful. Okay. Aim towards the sun again. Alright, so we're at least looking good-ish to actually make it to our final temperature scan. Oh, and our electric charge is actually fairly zeroed out at this one angle, apparently. Now that the sun is in a better position. Now we're talking. It doesn't look like anything's happening, though. I don't know. I guess we're getting there. Is that looking right? Is that looking like we're gonna make it? Yeah, I think I did it. I think we're good. I think we actually need to go a little bit back the other direction. Looking fairly good, though. Should put us right overhead. Yep. Entering the site. Log the temperature, radio it down, contract complete, thank goodness. Alright. Temperature surveys are totally not the most exciting thing, but this was already just way worse on top of it. I'm getting rid of this darn thing, we are killing it now, while it still has about 98% of its fuel or some ridiculous margin. Because I have no interest in letting this thing live. Gonna decelerate it enough that I make sure it's definitely going to just smash directly into Kerbin, which it is now already doing. Beautiful. Okay. That was probably a waste of funds. But I do want to see what contracts we now have available. All our other stuff is en route to Minmus. Oh, we're going to do this bug again. Okay. Doesn't let me click on anything. Okay, we're going to just do a restart. I forgot if I have to completely close Kerbal Space Program to fix that issue. I don't know if I'm the only one having that issue or what's going on. Didn't count. Restart the mission. Oh, the pain in my heart for that mission. Okay. This does need a full restart of the game. Which is classy as hell. Way to go, Kerbal. Does anyone else get that glitch? I don't really know if I'm the only one. Maybe I just have a really messed up computer. Oh, that's nice. Good of Steam to not respond. Okay. And Kerbal's now doing a download. I don't get it. I don't get it. Alright. Relaunching Kerbal. This one picture depresses me, by the way. This one picture of Jeb and Valentina fist bumping. Because they are both dead in our save file. They're the only two that are dead. That's sad. Why would you make me sad, Kerbal Space Program? Fist bumping in the afterlife. You see like the red glow behind them that's supposed to be re-entry heating? It's just kind of like we're like descending to hell. All right. Trying it again. Yay, we can click on stuff. Okay. Test extra large landing gear orbiting the moon. Okay. That should be easy. Wait a minute. Oh, yep. I know this is going to be. Got it. Okay. Somehow this thing is not deorbited itself yet, and that upsets me. So I'm going to just terminate it because it is already supposed to have decayed. And while I generally view terminating stuff as kind of semi-cheating, if it's already going to decay, kind of not. Let's go ahead and check our stations, see how they're all doing for science. Because our next big launch is going to require that I unlock some fun stuff. So, Kerbin Station 2 is only getting us 2 science a day. That sucks. You suck, Kerbin Station 2. What's with you? Yes, give us our 4 science. Thank you. Okay, so that polar station really is worthless, more or less. I think we can all agree on that. Is there any other biomes I haven't... No. Can we, Nope. This is not looking good. Not looking good for making this any kind of useful thing. What about EVAs? Nope. Alright. Well, that stinks. Let's go check Jeb Kerman Station, which should also be running low on science at this point. Jeb Kerman Station, our actual functional space station, has more purpose than just a single lab and a contract. Still barely any science. Which means that I might have already done all this before logging off on the last stream, even though I don't remember doing this. Valentina Kerman Station. Yeah, I must have, because we've only got 7 science here. In each of these labs. Valentina Kerman Station. One of our more successful stations, actually. So this has done a lot of science for us. We've got the last crew of 4 scientists aboard. They will be returning once their research is complete. And that will actually probably close out all our moon research, really. So that stinks. I guess that's one exciting thing I don't really get to do right now. Could do a bunch of time warp, which is probably going to happen. I'll just send a craft out to the moon first for that landing gear test. And I do need to organize Deep Space Gateway. I need to get rid of this as well. This was going to be our transfer vehicle, but it absolutely sucks. So I don't think that's going to get used. Our good transfer vehicle here needs to get refueled. I need to get some ore up from the surface for that. I need new landers. We need lots of new stuff for this. For the moment, I think I'm going to have to give us a short break. So, short break. Getting my scenes all mixed up. Okay. So let's see. We need to figure out... We've already got the lander on the way. We've already got... Really, these are decent mining landers, and I wish I just put a little more fuel on them. They'd be able to actually get some real work done. So I do need a better mining lander. The trick with that, though, because I'm going to be building them in this base on the surface. Let's get my chat back up. Because I'll be building a base on the surface, I'm going to need the base to be able to have the rover dock with it and then transfer over. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to go back to Spaceplane Hangar. I'm going to go back to our Minmus base idea that I built here. Our test base. And I want to figure out how I'd have to set up a vehicle to be able to dock with this. So I would need it to carry ore. Like that. Hmm. That would give me an I-beam for structural support. So let's do that. Let's move that down a little bit. Okay. And we're back to wanting the Rove Max wheels. Okay, so here's what we're going to need to do. We're now going to need to height check this, which is totally wrong. Okay. Good to know. What if I just put wheels directly on this? I can't. Okay. Well, I can, but it's going to look stupid. So what height? I need to get the height right here. So I need a marker just to tell me what the height is that I need this to be at. So I'm going to put one of these on there as a placeholder. Move that up so it ends up on the same level as this landing leg. So right about there. That's the height I need the wheelbase to be at. So I can now reroute all this to the actual car. Okay. So now I know this is at the right height. That looks about right. Those are angled weird. I don't know how I managed to pull that off. Let's see, those are just both, I think, yeah, those are a little off. That looks about the right height. Southern Gothic. I just want to say that the reason I lurk in the background and never offer feedback is I don't own the game yet, but I'd like to thank you very much for the constant commentary as you play. Well, thank you very much. One of the things I like to do with that as well is just to make sure that when I do put things to YouTube, there is at least some context to what I'm doing as well. I do appreciate that. I appreciate that at least somebody is appreciative. Alright, so let's see. Let's throw this midsection wheel on. And that looks still angled in a little weird, which I don't know how I do that. That looks still a little off. What am I doing here? It does look off, right? Yeah. It is off. Okay. I think I just connected it at a different height, and I'm willing to just slide that down into place. Since it is basically just a backup. Let's just kind of slide that in, slide that down. Okay. I think I got it. So this would be our rover. We are going to need this up on Minmus before we really have a functional base. Because without this working, the base is just not going to have any purpose. We're going to be mining there, getting all the ore put on board, and then bringing this off to a lander. Now on the flip side, I need to build the lander so that this can dock to it. So this is going to be kind of a two-way street there. Let's see. We need to put a probe core on this. I'm going to use an octo. Just so we can control this. There we are. We're going to need an antenna on it. Some solar panels. Okay. No, don't really want that angle. Let's go like that. And let's, you know, let's fold them in here. That looks better. Okay. Throw some batteries on. I think that's ready to roll. I think this is a perfectly good rover at this point. It's only 1.3 tons empty. So that is a definite plus as well. That's going to make it really usable for the Decanus launcher, our cheapo launcher. I went and screwed up our camera angle as well. But now, as I said, the difficult thing, at least as far as I am concerned, is going to be making a lander that this can easily dock to. I'm going to save this real quick. I'm going to reroute this to the port and save it as a subassembly. And the other thing I need to figure out is how to land this thing. That can come later. So I'm going to go back and check out our larger Minmus lander design and see if I can't figure out a way to have that be a functional part of this infrastructure. All right, let's see. I'm sure I saved it somewhere. I'm hoping I saved it somewhere anyway. It's possible I didn't, because I do tend to not save things. What was the one I named Y? Oh yeah, this thing. Oh yeah, no, that was a travesty. We're not gonna do that again. I don't think I saved the lander. I saved the regular reusable lander, the regular size one. And I did not save the large version. And that's fine, I guess. It's not going to kill me that I didn't do that. So let's see. We want... Alright, I think I'm getting ideas here. Do a 2.5 meter, not a shell. Coupling, there we go. 2.5 meter engine plate. And I'm going to use this actually, of all things, for ore. There's a couple ore canisters. And that way I still have an attach point at the bottom. Which is going to be useful for launching this thing. So I'll still have that attach point. Okay, yeah, this should work. Where is the... Ah, there we go. Rockomax adapter. Throw that sucker on there. So this is going to be in place of the top section of that. I could put the core itself in there as well, plus the stabilizer. I'll use a more expensive core on this one. And I'm going to put that in a service bay. Throw a rechargeable battery bank in there. A couple more batteries. Oh, what the heck was I doing there? Okay. There we go. Nope, still off. As I was saying, solar panels, which I guess I'll actually move down here. Okay. Been watching for 2 hours and realized it was 129's episode. Good job. Good job, Andy. Proud of you. All right, now let's put some tanks on here. We need some aerodynamics. Let's make it look a little better. And some engines. I realized I don't have any RCS on this yet, which is a problem. Let's throw the Terrier on here. So the question I'm going to have on this is going to be how much delta V do I really have? 2,876. Not bad. The question is how much is that going to change when this is at full? Okay, when it's at full, it's not that bad. So I'd probably be at half fuel. A little less than half fuel. 680 meters per second. It's better than where we're at now. Okay. This could probably do. I don't know why I bothered to put those there. I don't need those because these are going to be permanent. But whatever. Okay, we need some landing legs. These are the big sons of guns. And actually, let's expand upon that. Let's keep that ring at the bottom and use it as a brace for the landing legs. There we go. It's kind of effective. Looks kind of silly. And it'll probably be a pain in the ass to dock the other craft with it. Okay. So, if I do this right, though, what I can have it do is retract once it's landed. That would put this at almost the right height. How am I going to make this work? Let's do this. Let's put sure that was actually what it's clipping to. I still need something that... okay. Think, Steve, think. Let's put that on there. Put that on there. Then I have something to attach these to. Okay, so that does look a little bit the monstrosity. However, what that should let me do rotate this 45 degrees. There we go. Put the docking port down on this. Now when that's on there, almost the right height. Okay, I need to get that just right. It's too low. Right there. Okay. So this thing would be able to drive up underneath it, refill its ore, drive back to the base. That is what I'm looking for. This makes me happy. So now this overall only weighs 15 tons. That's not terrible. I am still going to add some fuel to it though, which is going to be monoprop. And then we're going to add some monoprop driven thrusters. Okay, there we go. This will be our ferry, so to speak, between the station and the base on the ground, taking things up to orbit, taking ore up to orbit. Okay. Hopefully efficiently enough that this is actually justified. Otherwise, this is just going to be a giant waste. But, you know, whatever. Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes you gotta make a giant waste. And then live with the consequences. So, we're gonna put a structural tube, maybe? For... Yeah, okay. Let's put a different launcher on here. So if this weighs right now 16.2, I could probably get away with a Decurion 2 or a Centurion 2 Heavy. I think probably the Decurion 2 because I'm going to put some crazy... Actually, probably a Decurion 2 dual booster, because I'm going to put a very heavy fairing on this in just a second. I didn't really consider that. And then also, this needs to get itself to min-miss, so to figure how I'm going to pull this off. I suppose I can get lucky enough for it to let me get away with this, huh? Yeah. Not so much. So it's going to be a very crazy fairing. Or else, what I could do... Aha. Yeah, what I could do... is just kind of throw the rocket down on it. And, let's see, where's the structural tube? What's that grabbing onto? Oh. Yeah, that should work. Just a little bit of tube there to protect it. Use a dual booster version of the Decurion. And I'll put a nose cone on the top. Try that again. Nose cone on the top with a Separatron to kick that off. Okay. So the Decurion's going to go first. Main engine with the boosters. So we need towers to separate, and we need the main engine right here. Okay. Then the boosters will separate. Okay. Second stage will separate. Second stage engine will fire. Kick off the nose cone. Separate the lower section. There we go. I'm hoping this has enough Delta V to get itself to min-miss. Just realized that I didn't really plan for that. Yeah, it'll be fine. See what happens. I forgot I had a second beer. How could I forget I had the second beer? Priorities, Steven. God. All right. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. If you could please stop wobbling so much. There you go. That was... I don't know what even happened there. Let's, see if Autostrat helps us out a little bit. It was interesting. Yeah, I don't think I need to strut everything. It's a waste of money and weight. But I think probably auto-strutting that one top section will probably do the trick. Yeah. Nope. Why is it doing that? I think it's probably that second tube I put on. I'm going to try getting rid of that one tube. I think it might be impacting the landing legs. So, aerodynamic tube, goodbye. And then, upside down Rockomax adapter. And then let's put some actual struts from here to here. Okay, that's not gonna work. From... Will that work? Yeah. Okay. Let's check the staging again, make sure everything looks good. Okay. Third time's a charm. Nope, okay. Alright, so it's something to do... Oh. I know what it is. Yeah. It's the ore canisters being crazy. I believe it's because I morphed them into each other slightly when I put them on an engine plate. So let's see what happens. Twofold. Well, no, I won't do auto strut because that'll screw up the space station. We're going to put actual struts. Okay. So one, we're going to strut the tanks together, which seemed to be the problem. And then two, we're going to strut the top of the tank to the connector. Okay. Just like SpaceX, more struts. That'll solve the problem. That did make me infinitely happy when I did get the feedback finally, like watching those feedback videos of that SpaceX failure where they're like, "Oh, actually it was a strut inside a tank that failed. Just needed more struts. More struts, Elon Musk. Get on my level, bro." All right. See how we do with this. This is looking much better already. However, we still need to figure out if this is even sufficient for orbit on this. But our Decurion is pretty good. It should be slight overkill even. Oh, it's not looking so great. Ditch those boosters. Probably a lot of it is going to be aerodynamic resistance. We do have a very high aerodynamic resistance compared to what we are used to. Whoop. Okay. There we go. Perfect. So now we use the last of the first stage to get our apogee up. So the boosters were to help get us up to our turn and get us off the ground. This stage is to get us to our apogee. This stage is going to now be to complete our orbit. So we're going to turn horizontal. With just a slight pitch up maneuver. And we're going to rotate ourselves back to make these maneuvers just a little easier. There we go. Pretty soon we'll be aiming down to do these, so I'm not going to go too crazy with that. Okay, we're at a safe altitude. I'm going to drop the nose cone. And extend the solar panels. So our J2 engine hopefully getting us up to speed here. I could do like the old Dudeculture Bro launcher and activate these 4 engines early. I think I'd rather get through this J2. It seems to be doing just fine. Slight pitch down. So make sure we're driving our perigee and not our apogee any further. Looking good. Looking real good. Perfect. We're in orbit. Now, I didn't put any retro boosters on this second stage. I am counting on using that somewhat. So unfortunately, I am going to have to transfer some fuel in there, even though that is not the efficient way to do this. However, I could possibly yeah, we could do this alternately. We'll do some alternate plans here. We're fine. All's good. So we need to set Minmus as our target. And we need to be maybe like right about here. Prograde. The game's getting really laggy there for a second. I don't know what's going on exactly. Okay, so that would be burning a little. Okay. So first goal will be to get there. Will be to get there. Nope. Okay. that again. We just want to get this out to the right altitude for Minmus. So right about there. And we want to avoid a moon encounter, which is seemingly impossible at the moment. Whatever. Why is this? Okay. Okay, so a brief moon encounter. Whatever. That's fine. That's dandy. Okay. So then once we've left the moon's sphere of influence, we angle up, and we get our encounter. Okay. That's what we want to do. Okay, so first maneuver. Our time's going to be 39 seconds. So about 20 seconds away from the maneuver, we're going to start our burn. Full throttle, all 5 engines. This is like the old Bro launcher. Okay, we're now just dragging that tank along with us. But we're going to keep it for just a moment, just to make sure we get it in a position to deorbit it, so I don't add more space debris. Okay. Alright. Let's see what's happening to our orbit. Okay. Alright. We're fine. We're good. So now, the problem is I want this perigee my cats are such fucking assholes. Wrigley. Enough. The moon encounter is going to actually accelerate us a little bit. We're going to slingshot slightly. Which is not ideal for planning maneuvers. Okay. Did I forget to put an antenna on this thing? I sure did. I built this whole thing and never put an antenna on it? Really? Alright, whatever. Rigby! Hey! Cats. Assholes. Synonymous. Alright. Incredibly weak signal. But this thing should be okay, even around Minmus, because we do have a Minmus relay network. I say that and then we just lost signal. Okay. Alright, well, when we get to the moon, we'll have the moon relay network to bounce through. Oh, there we go. We're getting radio contact again. So I might have to, Thankfully, it's got docking ports all over. Maybe I can just add a little antenna piece at the top. Is this going to go through the freaking moon? Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not going to impact the moon. We're okay. Yep, there we go. So I'm not going to impact the moon. Okay, brilliant. So now what I want to do is not that. Okay. So number one, we need the inclination change. That'll get us a really solid encounter. And that'll get us a free return trajectory on the booster. Okay, that's what we need right there, that maneuver. So I'm going to time warp us to that maneuver. Which actually is a fairly small adjustment. Mid-course corrections are the most fuel efficient. Because our craft is slowing down so much. Okay, we have radio contact, so that's a good sign. We're on point. Just gonna try and time warp in a little closer even again. So about 2 seconds away from the maneuver. Do our burn. Beautiful. Okay, so we're doing exactly what we should be doing. There's no fuel left in this bottom section, so it is getting ejected. We are going to eject it carefully. That's the word I'm looking for. So that has a free return trajectory and should go back to Minmus for burn up, if all is well. Which does appear to be the case. It has a 0 perigee, so it's a negative perigee. It's going to go back into Kerbin and burn up, which is perfect. No trash in space. And this thing has dropped its dead weight, and we are good to bring this the rest of the way to Minmus. So I need to launch that thing some kind of antenna adapter. As embarrassing as that is, because I forgot to put an antenna on there, we better do something about it. So what we want now, I'm doing a follow-up launch. All right, we are not saving this because this was bad. Did not go well. We are going to do One of these. One of these. Other one on the bottom. We're going to put a cheap core in the middle. We're going to put 2 antennas in it. We're going to close it up. This will be the adapter. This is all we need. So now we need a small section at the bottom. Which will be for actually docking this. So I'll have those. Have one of these. Okay. Have some solar panels just to last it for the trip. So it'll have a source of power and it'll have a source of monoprop. And we can put some batteries, which I don't even think I put many on the other one. I'm not sure. On the actual lander, I mean. So there you go. Batteries and radio. That'll be all this needs to help out its parent vehicle. And it weighs a whopping 1.29 tons. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the rest of the tonnage that we have available to us on a Decanis launcher for transfer stage fuel. It's almost got us the right weight. Just cut that down a little bit. Whoop. Definitely not that. There we go. Okay. There's our not so fancy little vehicle. We're going to need something to deorbit the second stage when we're done with it. So we're going to need a couple of these. That should do. Okay. That does leave us a little light for a Decanis launcher. So I am going to throw one of these on there, even though that's not the greatest idea. Instead, I'll put us at 4, closer to 4 tons. Yeah, that should be okay, though. The Canis is slightly overpowered. The Canis E... I think it can do it. I think realistically we're fine. I think maybe I should use full Decanus rather than Decanus E, though, instead of the economy version. Just give us a little extra thrust on the second stage. So main engine, the two gimbaling engines as verniers, the towers need to separate. There's no boosters to worry about separating, but we do need to separate off the second stage. Go to the second stage engine. Then we need to drop the fairing. Drop that second stage and retrofire. And then disconnect the final payload. Which I just realized then there's no way to deorbit this once it's done. Okay. Should be able to RCS itself to death. There we go. That should be fine. So finally, that'll separate off. This thing will go on off itself. Okay, cool. So now we're blowing a bunch of funds to go ahead and fix the very cheap antenna that was missing from that last launch. And then that might be where I call it for the night, because we're about an hour past what I normally run to. Decanus launcher on the way. First stage is going to be a little underpowered compared to most of what we use. And honestly, I made this more expensive than it needed to be, just because I like this pattern of these tanks. So I ended up using some shorter tanks than I needed to pull this off. But, I don't know, I like the look of it. I like that pattern at the bottom. And then at the top here. So at 10,000 meters, I'll start turning over for our prograde turn. So pitching over as steep as I can. Those little vernier thrusters are not very powerful. I'm just using 2 twitch engines to try and steer. We are probably losing quite a bit to steering loss at the moment, aerodynamically. But overall shouldn't have been too bad. And we still got a pretty high apogee out of it. Now we can start leveling out. High enough we can drop the fairing. Alright, getting this tiny little craft up to orbit. Should have plenty of excess fuel when we're done to do our transfer. Okay, we're going to do another burn here. It's a nice circular orbit. It's only a 15-second burn. Still leaves us plenty of delta V. Oh, before I go too much further, let's extend these solar panels. Last thing we need is to run out of power and not have any way to get it back. Since we are in space, might as well. Oh, we're looking at only a 6-second burn. Okay. Not bad. So this is why I eventually decided that I could get away with the Terrier engine for the normal version of the Decanus, but for Minmus transfers, where we're reusing the second stage, I think it's probably best that we use the regular version. So once more, we're setting Minmus as our target. We're going to plan out the next maneuver. So I want to get it to the right altitude. Just a little short thereof. And then I want to plan out mid-course. There we go, an inclination maneuver to get us to a rendezvous. So all I need to do now is adjust our start time. Perfect. All right. So this will be the fuel efficient way to do this. See, that's that maneuver is only going to be 39.6 meters per second of delta V. We're only going to use 925.4 on this. So we are going to have leftover fuel at the end of this transfer in the second stage. That's going to be used to slow us down and put us into a Minmus orbit. And those little retro boosters should deorbit that section and cause it to fall back into Minmus. So all very cool. Very cool indeed. As lined up as I can. I'm going to get a spray bottle for the cats because they're being assholes. Hey, knock it off. Hopefully didn't miss my maneuver there. And this is the key maneuver that I just wanted to have this engine for. Using the Terrier just is painful for a burn like this. where we have to accelerate so much so quickly. This actually isn't going to have as much leftover fuel as I thought I was going to. Key phrase there is the leftover part, so I'm not terribly concerned. But whatever. So we're going to have a brief moon encounter? Oh, I guess on the return it's going to have a brief moon encounter. So we'll go ahead and time warp those couple hours up to our first maneuver. That'll give us a nice perigee. Thousand kilometers, maybe. See how much better our radio contact is compared to the previous one. We're only gonna have a 1 second burn. So I'll time warp up to that. So a few seconds away, I'm going to just slowly throttle up. Make sure we don't overshoot. There we go. Still overshot a little bit. But that's alright. We still got a pretty good encounter with Min-Miss. We still got a little bit of fuel to help slow us down. Not bad. Not terrible, at least. Hey, knock it off. Just going to turn all these on for forward by throttle. Just in case we need it. We'll have it already activated. As I said, that's just going to be our radio adapter for the lander we just launched and forgot to put an antenna on. How's our actual lander doing? Getting off to Min-Miss. See how close it is. So actual crewed lander. It's looking pretty good. That one I remember to put an antenna on. Now, on that one, I remember to put lights on as well, so I made a very good vehicle this time around, and then completely forgot and messed up on the next one. But okay. That's not terrible. I was hoping I'd get some more science today. I'm going to quickly see if there's any new contracts I can pick up before I log off. That's right, I do have that moon contract. Put a landing gear in orbit and test it. It should be interesting. Yeah, LY99. Only has to be orbiting the moon. Now, and I do need to, now that I think about it, I need to reactivate the drills on our mining expedition there. So I'm going to do that. That's where we're going to be when we call it a night. Because I am tired. So out at Minmus. Where are you? There you are. Restarted Kerbal again. Nice. Yeah, I'm at the point where I wish I had done a couple of things different on my career mode in terms of difficulty settings. So I'm in that point. I almost wanted to do a restart, but it takes me so long to do anything. It just seems like it'd be horrible for everybody. All right. So with this thing, again, not having radiators, even though I have radiators on the way, I'm going to just deploy these drills. I'm going to start the harvesting. And then I am going to immediately go back to the Space Center and see if that can maybe mine itself some ore without overheating. Because the contract goal is to have that actually fill up both those tanks. Ah, heck. I'll do the moon launch as well. Just because I see Ham Owen, even though I was getting near the end of the stream, I'm going to let that go. Oh, I like seeing my repeat viewers. So what I need to see is how heavy is this one landing gear that I need to put up? 0.6 tons. Okay. All right. Let's see. What bus would I put this on? That's right. I forgot I made the signifer in the Draconarius on the last episode. Not use those at all. Nor will I use them for this mission, because that would be total overkill, but I have to remember that those are there. I think I might use our old Probe Bus B for this particular contract. I think what I might be able to do holy crap, that is a large landing gear. Okay. I was not expecting that. Okie doke. Sure we don't screw up our center of mass. There we go. That looks fine. perfectly normal. Not weird and horribly doomed at all. Don't know why everyone would get that suspicion. Okay, so I need to get this in orbit around the moon. This bus should really do most of the work itself. Hilariously, that closes the fairing. This is going to be pretty bizarre. Which is that way? 3.4 tons. I'd just rather have enough fuel to get this under on its way in off of the moon on its own power. But I don't think that's going to really happen. I think what I need to do, and we don't need this crap on there anymore. That's better. Strut that down. Make sure it stays stable. So Decurion would be enough to get it to orbit. We're going to need an Optio, I think. Because I want to actually get this. That's like 6 tons. That's more than an Optio. That might be a Decanus with the boosters, a Decanus Heavy. Do you have any ideas on what to do on Kerbal to make it more entertaining? Definitely mods. Mods for sure. I need to figure out some for myself that'll make it more A, realistic, and B, more challenging. Okay, let's do our towers, our booster. Perfect. Okay, we need booster separation. Booster separation should be followed by second stage. If this will give me the plus and minuses again, please do. Come on. There we go. So that engine then fires. That goes with that. Okay. So in theory, this is going to be very overpowered. In theory. Actually, I'm going to